Hey guys, welcome back to the cookie jar. Today we're doing the 7th recipe from the Fudge Cupcake Murder. They are the corn cookies. It's this one and this one. So thankfully these don't have any actual corn in them. They're not like the mystery cookies with the tomato soup. These are very, very quick. You basically mix everything together, bake it straight off. No anything really out of the ordinary. So what you're going to need is you're going to preheat the oven to 375, not 350, 375. So 2 cups of white sugar, 1 cup of butter, that's 2 sticks, half a pound, 1 egg, 1 15-ounce by weight can mashed pumpkin, I used Libby's, 1 cup chopped walnuts, 1 cup golden raisins, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cardamom, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 4 cups of flour, no need to sift, package of candy corn. The only real notes on this are if the dough is too sticky to scoop it out, you can put it in the fridge for a couple of minutes. You put the candy corn on the cookies when they come out of the oven, but it does say that if you fail to put on the candy corn when the cookies are still hot from the oven, all is not lost. You can put it on later using a little dab of powdered sugar frosting, powdered sugar with a tiny bit of milk as glue. It says it'll yield about 6 to 7 dozen depending on cookie size, and that Tracy's friends really love these cookies and they all offered to help me decorate them next year. So everything is laid out in the kitchen. Let's get in there and get started. Here's everything we're going to need today. And I would just like to point out real quick, the butter is already melted because the first step in the recipes is to melt the butter, which normally it says in the ingredients melted butter, but it didn't this time. Okay, so we have our melted butter already in our thing. To this, we are going to add the 2 cups of white sugar and get those mixed up. It says to cool it to room temperature before adding in the eggs. Mine's already there. First thing we're going to do, or the next thing, is add in our 1 egg. The ingredients literally say add all of the rest of the ingredients except the flour, mixing after each addition. That would mean the 15 ounces of pumpkin go in next. With that, we are adding our 1 cup of chopped walnuts, 1 cup of golden raisins, a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cardamom, a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and the 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now it wants us to add in the flour a cup at a time and mix it up. Before we add any more flour in, I just want to try to knock some of this stuff off the top. Okay, and then our last cup of flour. So I'm just going to try to mix this one last time by hand, and then it says to let it rest for 5 minutes. It has been 5 minutes, and what we're going to do now is we're just going to take our handy dandy scooper, some of the mix, and plop it on our tray. And these are greased trays, and of course I have my mats. Here is our first tray. They look like. Keep in mind the candy corn goes in on after they come out of the oven. So I'm just going to finish scooping up the rest of them and we'll see how many we get. So we are done. We have 93 cookies, which is around 7.5 dozen. So they're going to go in at 375 for 8 minutes. When we pull them out, we're going to put the candy corn on top. They're going to cool for 2 minutes, and then we're going to put them on wire racks. All right, so I am finally done with all of the baking. Here they are. So here's the front, back of the corn cookies. I would say this is closer to a bite of cake than it is a cookie. These are so good. These are perfect for fall. And they're so quick to put together. They look super cute with the little candy corn on top. They're easy to decorate. These are really just like the spice mix is good. And then you get the walnuts and the raisins and just little pops of different flavors throughout while you're eating it. I like these. I will probably make these again this year when we actually get to the fall season, at least once or twice, because they're just so good and so cute. I know a lot of people don't like the taste of candy corn. They hate it. But I feel like the overly sweet feeling is mellowed a lot with these cookies between the pumpkin and the walnuts and the raisins and just the savory aspect of everything in it. It's not too sweet. The cookie itself has like no sweetness at all. So when you get the candy corn on top, it adds a little bit, but not the normal candy corn, eating it straight by itself. You eat 3 pieces, you want to puke. So that's good. Now, the next recipe in the book is, I think it's the 8th recipe, the hole-in-one. We're going to skip that one because it's not an actual baked item. It's a breakfast item. That's an egg fried in a piece of bread. So next week, I will be making the 9th recipe in the book, which is the fudge cupcakes, which are made after the title of the book, the Fudge Cupcake Murder. I will admit I have made them before, and they were so, so good. So I'm excited to get to make them again for you guys. So if you want to see them, join us next week on the Cookie Jar. Have a good one. Bye, guys.